Hi, this is Rob Lawson, the SEO assassin. This is a detailed video about SEO, what's involved, whether it's for you, and what stuff you can look to do yourself. So what is SEO? Search engine optimization is what we're talking about. SEO is the acronym, and it's the practice of increasing the quantity and quality of traffic to your website through organic search engine results. So that might be a little bit confusing, what's organic and what's or not. Organic is the stuff that happens because of the Google algorithm. The other way to get yourself noticed on Google's platform is to pay for ads with Google AdWords or Google Shopping and a few other bits and pieces. So SEO is the natural listing that you get from the algorithm. So the one thing I'd ask you to think about and have a look is, where are you at the moment? Can anyone find you on Google? Can current and prospective customers find you for a Google search within your category? And because we deal mostly with micro businesses, small to medium businesses, it's going to be more difficult for you to rank for a root term or injury law firm. You might have the big firms like Slater and Gordon and a few others that advertise on radio are going to be hard to beat for those terms. But if you go for a longer tail term like small injury law firm, high success rate, then you're going to have a chance. So can someone find you for that term? And can you also be found if someone wants to find you by the name of your business? Two important questions. And the third one, probably more important than the first two, is how many inquiries do you get from your website per month at the moment? So what do you need SEO? What do you need to do to improve your search position? And we'll give you some examples. And plus, towards the end of this presentation, some interesting data around various aspects of internet marketing. To start with, 68% of online experiences begin with a search engine. And you guessed it, the majority of those are Google. Nearly 93% of all traffic comes from Google Search, Google Maps, Google My Business, Google Images, YouTube. And you've also got some free tools to help you analyze what's going on, analytics and Search Console. And you've got the advertising platform, which you can use to supplement your marketing until you do rank for those terms. So how does Google work? It's got these applications they call spiders that go out and crawl websites. They add optimized pages and they index and catalog them. And then when you search, Google shows the best results for those search terms. In terms of what we do as search engine optimization specialists is a range of things, from keyword research, link building. We optimize the sitemap. We do a bit of technical stuff from socials and content, and then we monitor the traffic and the rank, and we optimize more. And I might be talking absolute gobbledygook to you. I'll try and simplify it as we go through. So if you're a local business like these guys in Melbourne, what are your options? AdWords, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikTok, Snapchat, email marketing. There's a range of things you can do, both organic and paid. Here's one thing we know. The best quality leads are going to come from SEO. Here's an example of what we mean by a search engine result. So we've typed in D-cup bras, and this is the first result. One of my customers, Bravo Lingerie. So you can see that is the first someone sees of your business when they've typed in that search. And these guys rank for the second one as well. So they've got a blog post that comes second behind this particular result. And then we track where you sit amongst all your competitors. So we can see here with Bravo Lingerie, for the terms that are relevant to them, they're doing very well. And then we look at the data, and I've hidden the actual figures here because they're quite confidential. The amount of transactions from organic search weigh the others quite considerably. So here we are, we're searching for car tyres. I've had a bit of experience in this category on a mobile phone. So I've searched car tyres, and then we've come up with some ads at the top. We've got some Google Map listings. Down the bottom, we've got the first two organic search results. Now, in root terms, you'll tend to get a lot of this. But when you get in the longer tail terms, it's going to be more like you saw with the Bravo Lingerie result, and you'll be at the top. But regardless, these guys still down here, people they tend to filter out the ads. Some will click on them, but you'll get better quality leads from being in that position. Given the whole COVID-19, one of my customers is looking at adding some hand sanitizer containers to one of their products. And so we were doing some work on what search terms are relevant and that sort of stuff. And you can see here the images come up first, and then we've got the Google Shopping out here. And then we've got the first two results here from Google Shoot. The lead quality is going to be better here than in these two spots. So what are the most important factors for ranking your search? There's 220 things algorithm for Google that we reckon you need to consider, but they're grouped in 10. So a secure and accessible website, a fast website. Page speed is very important. If it takes forever to load, Google's going to penalize you. Mobile friendliness. Domain age, so how long you've had your URL and the authority of that domain. So whether it's, it's well regarded, and that's got to do with a lot of other things from the other categories. Optimized content so that Google and the other search engines understand what your website's about. Technical SEO, and that's a little bit to do with optimized content. There's a lot of crossover with these factors, but there's some stuff you need to do with your site so that Google can work out what it's about and what it should rank you for. And then there's a user experience. So they use this thing called RankBrain. It's an algorithm, AI actually, tells Google whether its users like the experience of your website or not. Links, another big one, outbound, inbound, and internal links to within your website. Social signals, so what are you doing on social media? Are people engaging with your content? Again, it's a signal to Google that you're an authority on that subject. And then we need real business information, which is plenty of stuff on the web that's accurate about where they can find you, what you do. There's a lot of directories and lots of other stuff going on, which I'll explain a bit later. So this is a sort of a weighting on a lot of those factors that are contained within those 10. The big hitters being links and fresh content, but you really got to fix up this technical stuff first before that sort of stuff comes into effect. So that's why there's a little bit of, it appears to be spinning in wheels while we work on this stuff before we can do any of that to push up the rankings. So the first one is a secure and accessible website. Well, you can see with this one here saying not secure. There's no SSL certificate on the website. So when you come up, especially in Google Chrome and in Safari from Apple, they're going to indicate to the user that it's not secure. And that is going to influence the user in terms of whether they want to proceed to your website, especially make them nervous about putting in any information. Worst case scenario is you're going to throw up this error message. Now, again, if you've got a SSL certificate and it's expired, that's going to give you that error message to your customers or to your visitors. So very important to get SSL secure and to make sure you maintain that. Page speed, including mobile speed. Google's got a free tool. Go to this, just type in page speed test into Google. This page will come up. Pop your URL into here, or your web address, hit analyze, and it'll come back and tell you how well you're going. Here's a client who's got a very big e-commerce website, lots of products, the rating's 74 on desktop. You really want to try and get it into the green zone, and mobile is really important because Google regards your mobile listing first, and it's where you appear on mobile determines where you're going to appear on desktop in terms of search results. Next thing, we've got mobile friendliness. So again, Google's got a tool, pop your web address in there, and it's going to let you know whether your site is mobile friendly. I think you have all heard of how you can have responsive websites. So you've got the desktop, you've got the laptop, and you've got the tablets and then phones. So you want your site to resize and to look good when it does resize for your mobile users. And you can build just a mobile-only version. And some customers do that, especially in e-commerce, and you want to make sure that the experience is fantastic. And sometimes the resizing, the responsive sites aren't as great. And here's the big thing. 52.2% at the moment is the split between mobile and desktop users. And it's just going to head even further north as we go, as we move along. And here's an interesting stat. If you're number one on the mobile phone, you'll get 27.7% of the clicks as opposed to 19.3% on a desktop. So as you can see, as more and more people move mobile, the importance of SEO is just another factor is, as I mentioned before, domain age. So how long have you had your domain? Do you have related keywords in the domain? That's very important. In the early days, when the internet first came out, people were paying huge money for root terms like, carsales.com, realestate.com, all of those ones were worth a lot of money because they get a lot of traffic just based on having the keyword in the URL. The domain authority is a score based on loads of factors, but if you're looking to purchase a domain that's expired, these are some of the things you can look at before you make your decision on what the value is. Number 5 is optimized content. So what do we mean by that? We mean content that is relevant to the search term, relevant to associated search terms, but not overly stuffed with search terms. So you've got to get a balance of letting the search engine know that it's about that content, but you've also got to have stuff that really is engaging for the consumer of that content. So that's your target audience. What's important to them? What's better content than competitor for that keyword? Because you've really your page above theirs. So we've got to do a bit of research and identify some gaps within competitors are up to. Find some longer tail terms that are good value, that represent what the customer behaviour is on what their journey is before they buy. Because the earlier that we can engage them, the better chances we've got. So we're going to do a lot of stuff around modifying the content or creating new content to compete with what's going on in the marketplace with your competitors. Keyword relevance, no duplicate content. So we don't want to be copying other people's stuff and trying to pass it off as ourselves. Google knows who's posted the stuff first. We want related terms. They've got this latent semantic indexing term, and you don't need to know. It's just we need terms that are relative to the keyword that we're after for that particular page. The other thing we've got to consider is moving forward, a lot of people are going to be using their assistants to help them search. I see it emerging a lot with my children. They will forever just grab the phone and go, "Hey Siri," and do a Google search, asking Siri what's going on. And then you've got people who've got Alexa homes. There's all these new devices within the home, and you need to consider what queries that people are using in your category and how do you satisfy them. So there's going to be a lot of questions, how-tos and what is and all that sort of stuff. So you need to think about that. And above all, we want good quality original content. So do some homework, spend some time, create good content, and it'll pay off in spades. And here's one that I find intriguing. I have arguments all the time with people about the length of content. The longer copy is better. And I get this argument that, people haven't got time. They're just skimming. They're skimming to find the good content. When they find the good content, they read it. When they find the good video, they watch it. They skim. But if they've got a genuine problem or challenge going on, or their desire to buy something, they'll read the long content. They'll watch the long video. We have the data to back it up. Think about your own behaviour. If you're a mad golfer and you've got a problem with that particular aspect of your game, you'll search, and then you'll spend ages finding out the solution. The last one here is using video. It's going to be, it definitely is. It's so important to you to think about the use of mobile phones and how hard it is to read on a smaller device, and it's so much easier to consume video. And the price of data is plummeting, and the access to Wi-Fi is getting to be ubiquitous. Videos to go. All right, technical SEO. So the technical stuff is the aspects that focus on how Google spiders your site. So you've got on page and you've got off page. So we'll look at those things. So you've got the we call them title tags, but there's also a thing called a meta description, and they're in the back end of each page of your website. That data is what you see when you first, remember back in the beginning of this video, I showed you a search from Bravo and the tire video. You've got the URL, then you have the title tag, and then you have the meta description, and that's all someone sees about your business. And a lot of people don't know this, and a lot of people ignore it. A lot of web developers will just put an auto fill filter, so it just picks the name of the business and the key or some part of the content, like the title of the page, and they put that in as the title tag. Just does it automatically. It's a lazy way of doing it, and it's not good for Google. You've got to have unique title tags and unique meta descriptions. You can't just have the same stuff going out. And there's also the hierarchy of the content. There's the headline, there's the H1, H3. If we can let Google know what's going on with relative keywords to the main keyword, that's going to help us. There's an art to it. And one other thing about those title tags in those meta descriptions is you've got to make them enticing. If you look at all the other competitors who came up when you did the search, who's got the most compelling title and description? What's going to make you click? And it's got to be true to the content of the page, but it's got to entice them. It's one thing to rank, but the other thing is to entice that click. It makes a big difference if you can do it well. Other thing is with technical SEO is every image has a thing called an alt tag that you can put in to describe. It was originally designed for blind people to describe to them what the image is about. Get your keyword in amongst that description. Big help. Then you'll rank for image search. And that comes up on Google, as you saw before in some of the examples I showed you. All right, this rank brain thing. It's the user experience. So Google uses AI. It compares the web pages that are considering ranking for a particular term. It looks at the click-through rate. And so that's the number of searches that you get to that you appear on the page that you're ranking on. So what's the percentage of those that click on your website to go through to your website? And then once they do go there, what's the bounce rate? Do they just go there, see something, don't like it and go? Or do they go and spend a lot of time, and that's the dwell time on the page. And do they go to other pages? Very important. Links. A lot of people hear about backlinks. What are backlinks? They are inbound links from other websites to your website. You want as many of them as possible from pages that have authority. If you've got a link from a government website, or you've got a link from Google or from YouTube or from a highly trusted site, then the Google algorithm is going to assume that your site is trusted. So the more links you get, the higher you go up, the more power in this battery example here. Outbound links, then if you have lots and lots of outbound links, it's going to reduce the power that you have. So you can't just go out and say to someone, hey, how about we swap links? I'll link to your site, you link to mine. That's going to do you no good. It's neutral. You've got to attract inbound links, and there's an art to that as well. You do want some outbound so that you can give users a great experience, and you can also show the search engine that you're going to other content that is authoritative. If you're referring to another article that's high profile or whatever in your text, way to go. Internal links are important as well to make sure that the user can make it an easy transition throughout your website to have a good experience. And again, that's going to improve dwell time and all that sort of stuff. So that's important as well. How does Google ranking algorithm work? It was termed back in the early 2000s as a thing called PageRank, and they used to tell us what these scores were. But then they worked out all us SEO could understand what was going on, so they stopped showing us. So it used to be it was out of 10. They still use it, but it's just not displayed anymore. So the PageRank 10, and this, when you go from 1 to 2, it's to the power of 8. So 2 to 3. So as it's a massive learning curve. So to go from 9 to 10 is a long way. So all the number 10s, Google, Bing, Yahoo, education institutions like universities or schools or what have you, then you've got the government.gov.au, .ed.au. If you've got links from them, they're highly regarded. So you go and buy your URL from whoever the people are that rent them to you, and your page rank is 0. You've got no backlinks, no authority, no nothing. Google will come out in spite of you. They won't rank you. As you get lots of backlinks from these higher ranking websites, you gain authority. So your page ranking improves. If you're structured for search with that technical SEO, then Google will rank you for those search terms. That's pretty much how it works. Social signals. So these are all the social metrics. So tweets, shares, pins, likes, retweets, all of that sort of stuff of your content shows that it's valued. And we've got off-site local stuff, the real business information, that's Google My Business, name, address and phone, consistent citations all over the place, and reviews. So Google reviews, Facebook reviews, that sort of stuff. Here's an example of one of my clients, Peter Sadler Trammers. They do furniture removals. They do a lot of other stuff. They've got one division that's focused on furniture removals. They do a lot of good work around getting reviews. They have a tool that's linked into their CRM. They ask everyone for a review. And the user's got a choice. They can do a Google review. They can do it on this tool called Word of Mouth. They can do it on Facebook. Google's still pulling all the data. And this has a lot to do with whether someone's going to choose you or not. If you've got a high score and lots of reviews, then you're going to be better than someone who's got a low score and not many. Very important, but it also helps with search. We took a B2B as opposed to Peter Sadler, as I showed you, as B2C. B2B is very important for SEO because the quality of leads converts way better than anything else, 14.6%, which is quite high. And just to pinch a couple of slides from one of my clients, Bruce Rasmussen from Carpe Diem Consulting. If you need some sales training, here's a gun. This is the old buyer journey, and this is a typical sales process that's associated with that. Suspect, prospect, engage, qualify, propose, defend against the 2 to 3 competitors and then try and close, and all those closing techniques and crap that was in the 90s, early 2000s. Doesn't happen that way anymore. People don't like being sold to. So everyone's calm. Status quo gets interrupted. So something happens, changes the status quo for that business owner. They search around the problem. They come up with a solution. They talk to some of their peers. Then they start engaging the provider and they go buying. So you want to be engaging nice and early around this when they start searching around. That's what we want to do with our SEO. Sure, it's not bad to go up here when they've decided that they want an SEO provider, but then it's just a price. You're a price taker. If they want to engage up here and early, then you can become that trusted advisor and you can show how much value you do add, can really make a difference to that person. So This is the new focus. Social listening, get some unique insights. So that's where we look for those gaps, those keyword gaps. Present some unique insights. Look at those early buyer keywords, push stuff out on LinkedIn, suggest solutions, do some proactive influencer programs, run webinars, that sort of stuff. Because everyone else is still doing this stuff where they're cold calling, doing brochures, features and benefits, all that interrupted type marketing. That's not the way to go. Alrighty, so why do you want to be on the first page of Google? Because no one goes past it. Well, some do, 0.78%. So you really need to be here for a legitimate chance. And here's an interesting stat. This is SEMrush. It's a tool that we use. It's one of the most popular and best tools on the market for maintaining your search rankings, research, all that sort of stuff. Site audits for how the health of the site. I can talk about that forever. So here's the root term, high volume, harder to rank for it. Then we've got when to plant tomatoes, less search, less difficult to rank. Then we've got why tomato plants turning yellow, lower, much lower search, but fine for micro SMEs, and we can rank for those. So you've got to think about what are people searching for and what's relevant for your business. If you're not sure, we'll help you work it out. 30% of all mobile searches are related to location. So how well are you optimized? How good are your local business listings? Or first question probably is that important to you? So I've just done a local search for plants near me. And you can see that it's coming up just with the map listings and some ads. So that might be satisfying to me. Might not. Certainly, if I've searched on a mobile phone, that's going to be very relevant. Now, here's another point. 76% of people who searched on their smartphones for something nearby visited a business within a day. So these are people who are ready to buy. Sure, it's nice to engage people with you if you're business to business very early in the buying process. It's still important for people who are selling products because there might be a lot of stuff that we need to know before we go in and buy those plants. We might have searched around the type of plants that are going to work in that particular environment, whether it's shady, sunny, whatever. What's the climate and what you're looking for. So that's early content is important, but it's also pretty relevant or important to be able to rank for this term as well. There's been a change in habits for people searching over the past few years. There's been a 250% year-on-year growth in mobile searches for on sale plus near me. It's from 2017 to 2019. We haven't got 2020 data, but I imagine it's still on the rise. So are you optimized for those? Video is the number one form of media used in content strategy. So what are you doing with video? You need to get skilled about it. As you can see, this is an example. This photo I've put on the slide is just a simple little holder for a phone. It's in the other room. I bought one just about a month ago that I've tried out and works fine. It didn't cost a lot of money, and it's got extendable legs, so I can sit on a desktop or I can sit on the floor and be at the right height. Fantastic. So you really need to think about getting some video content. Here's another thing about video. The average length of a first page YouTube video is 14 minutes, 50 seconds. So it's not that short, sharp grab. They might be okay for, doing your Instagram and Facebook ads. But for more engaging content to educate buyers, the longer form's important. So you need to do both. I just wanted to change tack a little and just show you one of my clients. And this was the homepage of their website when we first started. And they had this stuff that was about the company, and they had a video of one of the directors. And then you could click on this tab and you could go to the Steadfast here, which is the public company which they're partly owned by. And then you've got something about their broker app. None of this needs to be on the homepage. That needs to be in the About Us, because we want to talk in customer language when someone first arrives. We don't want to talk about ourselves. And that's a thing that came out in the 1990s when websites first came out. Welcome to our website. Aren't we fantastic? Aren't we great? We are one of the best providers of XYZ in Australia, in the world, in wherever. People don't want to know that. We did some work. This is around a thing called What is Your Why by Simon Sinek. And we asked the staff, and we come up with some We used some of the phrases from the staff, their why was and what they believed this business existed. And we changed the content. And it's now more engaging and it's more real rather than having all of those industry acronyms and all that other stuff that we tend to get caught up in. Probably doing it in this video now, talking about all these acronyms and SEO and other stuff that are strange to someone who's not within that industry sector. So you've got to resist that temptation. And we were talking about video before. YouTube is the second most visited site. Only 9% of small businesses are on YouTube, but 62% of businesses are on YouTube. So get the difference there. So a lot of the medium size and the larger guys, they're all over it, but the small guys aren't. So there's big opportunities there to be ahead of your competitor. And 70% of YouTube watch time is on a mobile device. 40% of all voice search comes from a featured snippet. Now, a featured snippet, these questions. What is a featured snippet? It's this bit of text and imagery that Google pushes for the best answer to the top of the listing, and it converts that to voice. Converts that answer to voice for Amazon and for Google Home and Siri and what have you. And that's the first position down here. So you get way ahead of them if you've got that featured snippet, but you'll also be in the home of thousands and thousands of people. All right, that's a bit of an overview of what SEO is and some of the things you need to do to influence how you can improve your search rankings and why it's important to do that, because it will make a significant difference to your business, a really big difference. If you've got some questions, if you'd like to talk to us about whether you can improve your rankings and what is required to do that, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to have a chat. So you can phone, email me, or you can go to our website and there's even a link on there where you can book in a Zoom call and we can have a chat. Okay, thanks for listening.